welcome. This is my name's Kristy Strouse. This is the Film Inquiry Roundtable 12 Spooktacular version. I just really want to say that. But yeah, so we're here today to, we have the team. Some of us are dressed up, and we're here to talk about our yearly routine Halloween fall watches. So yeah, I'm editor-in-chief of Film Inquiry. If you don't know that from watching these videos by now you do. And I'll give everybody else an opportunity to say hi, including Stephanie, who it's her first time here, which I'm super excited about. If you want to say hello. And
hi.
You are. She's an editor. She does our Twitter. She's amazing. But yeah, if you want to say anything else, feel free. If not,
I'm happy to be here tonight.
And you're rocking the Hunger Games.
Oh yes.
Katniss.
Nice.
Always.
Always, yeah. And what about Cliff Booth?
Yeah, hi, Cliff Booth, stuntman, sometimes known as Jake Tropila in these necks of the woods. Yeah, writer, editor at Film Inquiry, trivia master, as you all know, and excited to be here for our Halloween special. It's very nice to dress up. The audience at home can't see, but I'm in the full Cliff gear. I got the belt buckle, I got the boots, the boot cut jeans, I got everything.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's good times.
True.
Yeah, throw it over to Vampira, or is it Morticia?
Good evening.
Or Elvira?
Vampira.
Vampira.
Elvira has the.
She's got
the
beehive dude. Yeah, you're right.
In the 80s.
And she's in color.
I am Vampira from the 1954 television show Vampira and Plan 9 from Outer Space. Yes. I am an editor with Film Inquiry, and this is a great day.
It
yeah.
is.
I'm very happy to see everyone in costume. Very excited.
And the ghost. It says, boo, I'm a ghost. Clement, so that was your...
Oh, that's right. I'm a ghost.
Ghost.
You forgot.
Real monsters.
I saw that everybody had put their little thing on, and I was like, oh, shoot, I should do a spooky thing real quick before we start recording. Yeah, I brought out my little shoulder raven, and I'm wearing my Edgar Allan Poe The Raven scarf, which I only break out for Halloween for October. So my name is Clement. I'm a writer with Film Inquiry. I've been writing with us since last May. And that's about it, I think.
Yeah. Clearly I'm really on my game today, but I'm dressed up as well. I was trying to dress up as a character from one of my first picks. So segue is Trick or Treat. It's a movie I watch like this time of year. It just screams Halloween. It's, so it's perfect. And Anna Paquin, spoiler, is a werewolf at the end. But, contact lenses take like 30 days to get here, apparently. So I couldn't rock the orange eyes, but that would have been cool. So just imagine that. You can even somehow like impose, onto my eyes. But anyway, so that's one of my picks. Honestly, a lot of things, I do watch a lot of horror in October, or I watch horror all year. So I don't necessarily always have horror movies that I watch for sure. But I do have some like ones like Hocus Pocus I've watched since I was a kid that I seem to always watch around this time of year. And yeah, I have some others, but I just kind of want to throw it around, and I don't know if they're all going to say the same thing. So I'll just start with those two. And yeah, that's why I'm like a werewolf, Red Riding Hood and stuff. In case like I'm not as, but Bailey Joe, you are so badass right now. I just got to tell you with the nail. I'm seeing you do this. But yeah, so Cliff Booth, if you want to
silently vamping in the
yes.
screen. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Kristy. Trick or Treat's a really fun movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a great little, it's kind of like an anthology film, but it's sort of one director, one filmmaker, one storyline. But yeah, so I feel like with October, like this month more than any month, it's really influences what people watch, especially on Twitter. everybody changes their name to something spooky and they just make it a month of horror movies. No other month is like this, which I really love. I love the the enthusiasm people bring to watching things around Halloween. I revisit, some franchises every now and then. I like Halloween. I like Nightmare on Elm Street. Not so much Friday the 13th, but, to each their own. But a couple I particularly love. I'm going to throw out 2 titles, and if we have more time, I'll throw out more. But I'm a big fan of Hellraiser. I think that's a killer movie. It is it's just so bloody and brilliant and amazing. And even the sequel I really like, Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. And then I also am a big fan of, if you want to go zombie movies, I like The Return of the Living Dead, directed by Dan O'Bannon, which is kind of like a punk rock take on zombie lore. It's these literally these punk rockers are hanging out in a cemetery, and at this local factory where one of their buddies is working, the dead are reanimated and they all have to fight them. It just kicks ass. So yeah, those are 2 of my watches. I'm gonna throw it over to Stephanie. What do you got for us?
Every year it's Scream. The entire Scream from 1 to 4. Not the TV series. Let's just leave that not in the picture. But there's a childhood where I grew up and all the kids got to see it and I didn't. And it became one of those cherished films you couldn't wait for. So that's still one of my favorites. And then Nightmare Before Christmas. Definitely. Already seen that twice.
Now, is that more of a Halloween film or a Christmas film?
So I have a scrub that I wear when I take care of my patients. It's Jack Skellington, and I get that question a lot. And I tell them it's both. So I get to celebrate Halloween/Christmas for 4 months. So September straight through the end of December. So just flip-flops on November 1st.
Nice. That's a Christmas watch for me. So
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like how I am with Black Christmas. It's ostensibly a horror movie, but I watch it in December.
The November movie.
There you go. You gotta
Yeah.
find the middle ground. Well, yeah, speaking of Vampira, let's hear it from you. What do you like to watch?
So usually I have like a calendar of like the movies I watch every day, and I really like try to stick to them. But I always find myself kind of trying to find movies I never get to watch, especially now that I live abroad. I had to like abandon a lot of my movies. So I usually will try and watch John Carpenter's Halloween. Out of all of like the slashers, Michael Myers is the scariest to me. I had my first nightmare about him in like 5 years last week. And it was a recurring one. I was like, God damn it. And this one person showed up in the dream. And that's when I knew it was like a dream. I was like, okay, I can wake up any minute now. Please wake up. He's so scary. But no, I really love it. I love, Mr. John Carpenter, music by. And I have the Halloween theme as like my Animal Crossing tune on my island. It's a really good one. And then my favorite movie of all time is Rocky Horror Picture Show. I always try and watch that as much as I can. And then kind of movies I always find myself watching around this time is like The Love Witch by Anna Biller. I didn't like it at first, but every time I watch it, I like it more and more. I guess I got the love spell on me. And then I just found out that this is on YouTube. It's like almost impossible to find, but Dead Alive / Brain Dead.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The only way I could watch it before in the States was at my local DVD like rental shop, and now it's on YouTube. So go watch it on YouTube. But it's one of my top favorite movies, like horror movies. And then I like to watch like everything Evil Dead. Like I just rewatched Ash vs. Evil Dead. If we're talking about TV, I rewatched like Treehouse of Horror, and a really, really great like autumnal like spooky show is actually a few episodes of Atlanta. Have you guys watched that?
No, not yet. It's been on my list for pretty much since it aired.
Yeah, so it's the Donald Glover like show, and there are two very specific episodes that are very like, whoa. Teddy Perkins, which is like I guess pretty famous as like a standalone like mini horror movie, and then another one called Woods, where a guy like basically gets kind of like attacked by his fans, and it's really like great. It's a great mood setter for like the fall season. And then I also like just to kind of read like scary stories to tell in the dark. I'm very happy I inherited this from another like teacher. But yeah, I just kind of everything I like to do is a little bit spooky. But those are like my big ones that I always come back to. Yeah.
All terrific
Right.
choices.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please watch
I
Dead
love Dead
Alive if
Alive.
you haven't, and Atlanta.
I own that
Well-
on DVD, Dead Alive, actually.
That's
Oh.
a valuable DVD because it's out of
Yeah.
print and goes for like $100 on eBay if you want to buy one. So if you're ever short on cash, consider selling it if you want.
Yeah, no,
To Jake, probably.
I won't do it.
I don't get why it's so hard. It's not like on Blu-ray or something. Like that's wild. But it's on YouTube now. So.
Yeah. Rumor has it there's a 4K restoration coming. I don't know when. It's been in the works for like 2 years now. But, you know, I'd love to see Peter Jackson make a movie like that again and not a prestige Hobbit film. But,
I think it's like it's definitely my favorite of his. I think it's like it's very him, and I love that there's callbacks to it in King Kong, which is so great.
oh, the rat Tasmanian monkey or whatever it's called.
Just the rat monkey.
Yeah.
No, the rats came off the slave ships and they raped all the monkeys. Jesus.
I love how totally bonkers that movie goes in the final sequence. He's like mulling.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen Bad Taste? His like movie before that?
I have not. No, that's also been on my list for a long while. Is that the one with the puppets? Or is
Kind
that
of.
something else?
I guess like it's like aliens and they look like puppets kind of, but it's very campy and funny. I enjoyed it enough. It's worth watching once.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Let's hear from the Mr. Ghost. Spooky Scarf Ghost. What you got?
I
the most.
always watch Scooby-Doo every October. So whether it's like the original series or some of the movies, I go back to all the time. I think later this October, I'm going to rewatch the live action ones because I'm tinkering around with doing a piece about those. But I also, some other like rewatches that I always go back to are the original Suspiria. I adore completely. And actually, when I was in Los Angeles 2 years ago, I got to attend a live show by Goblin where they screened the movie and played the soundtrack along to it. And it makes you realize, wait a minute, like half of this movie, there's no music playing because they get a lot of breaks. But it was still a really, really cool experience. And it was so wild, and everybody's laughing along with like the like admittedly bad dubbing and everything, but it just made the movie like feel more magical that way.
That's just the regular audio.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know,
Jalo.
and like all the bad jokes, like how Sarah has an S in her name and that's stands for snake, and it's like, okay, this is silly. But everyone loved it. Everyone's lapping it up, and it's like, oh, great. We're all on the same page here. So that I have yet to rewatch the Roger Corman 1963 The Raven with Vincent Price in it, but I love that movie so much. I watched it at the beginning of Spooktober a couple of years ago, and it's just stuck in my brain as something I think I need to rewatch every year, just because it's so campy and stupid, and it's a great mood setter. Edgar Allan Poe would be writhing in his grave if he saw how they just take his poem and use all of 2 minutes of it, and then just go off and have Vincent Price and Peter Lorre be warlocks for like an hour. It's great. Also, Jack Nicholson's first feature film role, one of his first, is in that movie.
The Raven. Not to be confused with the Cusack film, right?
Right, or another one that was made in the 30s. There's a bunch of them.
Fair enough.
I only recognize the Simpsons version, so I don't know what you're talking about.
The best version that was screened for me in English class forever ago.
Bart the Raven.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Are you? So you said Suspiria. Are you a fan of any other Argento films?
Yeah, I really love Inferno. I just watched Bird with the Crystal Plumage the other night, and I totally dug that. We've already talked about my distaste for opera. The movie, not the. I'm sure the musical form is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like the sicker sort of like more gross out stuff. Like I tolerate it in Stendhal syndrome because like you could tell like the purpose of it there, and there's a more like sort of deeper emotional story that he's trying to get at. But in opera, it just feels kind of like gross out exploitative. I watched Tenebrae and Phenomena a couple of nights ago, and Phenomena is totally bonkers, but I really love Tenebrae a lot. Like the reveal is so weird and stupid and appropriate for every like giallo movie that it has the third act reveal that just doesn't make any sense. But it has a killer theme, and probably next to Suspiria has one of the best themes of any one of those giallo films.
Yeah, that music is great. And I'm sorry you don't like opera, but I think opera is killer.
I think I'll have to go back and rewatch it after because I'm watching like 20 giallos this month, and then after that I'm gonna revisit it.
The poor girl has the needles taped underneath her eyelids.
That's what I don't like about it, Jake.
Do you not like it because you don't want it to happen to you, or do you think it's just a bad idea for the film? Because if you don't want it to happen to you, then that means it's working.
I don't know. I think it's just like extreme, and because it's so extreme, it puts me off to it. Kind of like how I never watched any of the Saw movies.
That's something else entirely, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't like the idea of engineering situations for characters to be in like the worst possible, like most grotesque situations. You know, I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather watch Donald Pleasance have chimpanzee servants get him stuff, which is a major plot point in Phenomena.
Yeah.
I just did like a watch party with some friends with Suspiria, and none of them had seen it before, and I never noticed it, but they made it very clear, like the music gets so loud so quick, and I would love to hear it with like the live band because I feel like it wouldn't be as jarring. But like it was really like, dude, it's so loud so fast, and for them it really turned them off to the movie, unfortunately. But they were spooked by like a lot of the like death scenes. It was that thing of like they were like, haha, this is so stupid.
Yeah, because it's like it's funny, and then a girl falls into a room full of barbed wire, and it's like, oh my god.
I think I watched the first time I was like 10. That haunted me. Like,
yeah. Or even just that first sequence in the giant like candy colored mansion where she falls through the glass ceiling and hangs herself, and all the shattered ceiling parts come down and get her friend. So good.
I think the music in that is so great because at the beginning it really like sets up, especially when she's at the airport and there's those cuts between like her at the terminal getting ready to leave and the door at the end of the airport, and like the ominous music creeping in, and it's like building the sense of like that this is a dream world, you know, and that this isn't, you know, things don't play by the rules here. This is a completely different place.
Clement, no, that's just Germany.
That's how Germany is all the time.
So, Film Inquiry, Yoda dressed up as E.T.
Oh,
Just meant to share.
Nice.
If anyone's been watching from the beginning, he made an appearance at one point with the Filming Free hat. So I actually almost thought about getting a red hoodie and just having him like just
That'd
being
be cute.
He's your
Yeah.
But he needs a
familiar.
little teacup.
But no, this time of year, like even though I love a lot of these movies and watch a lot of movies that I would watch in October throughout the year, there is something very like it's just I love this month, like I love fall. I love when, I love the foliage. I love just the feeling. There's something, the air, temperature drops. You just want to like even more so and just be inside in the dark watching a good horror movie. And I always watch Halloween too. I don't know why. Well, I know I didn't say it because I just figured it was kind of like everybody's like they watched it at some point this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think AMC Fest is for Halloween is today.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
it's a necessity. But one of my favorite horror movies in general is The Thing. So I watch that more than once a year, but I usually get that in this month. John Carpenter. I love that movie so much.
It's perfect.
It is. It really is, right?
Cannot
Like,
argue with it.
And I also always watch The Shining, but that's another one that I literally can watch all the time. But that's one of my favorites. So that's a yearly revisit around this time. And another one is one that I watched and it's just got remade, which is interesting. When I was a kid was The Witches. And it was a movie that like freaked me out when I was a kid. Angelica Houston's like, she's a little creepy in the movie. But obviously I think the new one comes out tomorrow. Oh, when
I
this
think
is
so. Yeah.
when this is premiered, it will.
This will have come out this past weekend.
Yeah,
for those
when
watching
people are
now.
watching this in the world. But yeah, so we'll see how that is. But
Yeah.
those are a few more of mine.
But
Yeah,
the
the
got Stanley Tucci in it. How bad could it be?
he is amazing. Tucci's a man. You gotta admit that. But
You can't pooch the tooch.
What were you gonna say, Stephanie?
I want to see for the new witches how they handle the little girl in the painting because that terrified me.
Creepy.
Kid in the original.
It
Very
really did.
effective.
Haunting. So
I have
I
not-
hope they keep that.
I have not seen the original Witches yet by Nick Rogue, but an exclusive here is that it might pop up on an upcoming episode of Blind Spots. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yes.
But yeah, Stephanie mentioned AMC Fest earlier, and when I was living at home with my parents, like we had cable in every room, and so I would just be glued to AMC when I wasn't like doing homework or something, and that's how I like really exposed myself to just a lot of horror movies, and also like a lot of horror movie sequels. They just run them all the time, and so yeah, I watched all the Halloweens that way, and I'm sure most of the Friday the 13th, although those may have been more like on Spike TV. But yeah, the cable channels are great. Even if they're edited, you still get the essence of the movie. So yeah.
I missed a lot of college classes because of AMC Fest every October.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me too growing up. I remember being so mad, like they're showing Halloween 4 again. Where are the other ones?
Yeah.
I know I'd always get, what is it, Pumpkinhead? Is it is it called Pumpkinhead? Was it?
There is a Pumpkinhead. I've never seen
and
it.
I would always see the one that was always Pumpkinhead 2 or Pumpkinhead 3. That was the one that I always saw on kind of like Halloween 4. And no, I still haven't watched it. I always changed. I don't know.
It's weird. Yeah, it was always like Halloween's 2, 4, and 5 were like the most replayed ones. They never show the original, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I love Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I think if you're going to like torch your original idea and go after some bizarre story about masks that melt children into like bugs, skulls is a great idea. But yeah, I understand why people are disappointed in that movie, but I can't join them in their disappointment. It's a lot of fun. I think it's the second best Halloween sequel.
Yeah. I mean, the bar's not that high.
Well,
but
true.
10 years ago, I worked at a gym and I could watch TV because we had a big TV, and that played a lot during that year. I remember that's how I first watched it. But I love the commercial song. That's like on my like Halloween like Spotify playlist.
Halloween,
Silver Shamrock. Yeah. My poor husband, I sing that constantly. It's so good. Yeah. The poor Halloween franchise is just really bleak, like especially compared to Friday the 13th. Like I constantly rewatch like the Friday the 13th movies like throughout the year. If I see the number 13, I'm like, well, I gotta watch it. But the sequels are so watchable because they're all so crazy. Like it's not even until the sixth one where he's like supernatural and like a zombie.
Yeah.
Right.
Love those. And I have.
I also love, Nightmare on Elm Street, of course.
That's probably like pound for pound my favorite franchise. And I think Robert Englund is mostly why. Because with Michael is scary, Jason is not as scary, but they're mostly just anonymous stuntmen playing them. With Freddy, you have a personality, and that's just great. Yeah, he does kind of, eventually like around 3 or 4, he just kind of switches from horror to full bore comedy, but I still have a good time watching him.
And then we have Freddy versus Jason, of course, too.
That is a lot of fun.
Love that one.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
That came out like what, 03?
Yeah.
So I was 12. That was a big movie for that summer for me. I made a lot of younger cousins watch that. Sorry, guys.
I saw that in theaters with my dad. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's so great. But it's crazy how Freddy's dialogue is the only good part, like dialogue.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it makes
like
me
compared
think
to the teens?
What was it like? Freddy died from fire. Jason died from water. How can we use that?
How can we use that?
Same words said by the writer's room.
I did just read the comic book of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Yeah.
And it's bad, but like the quips between Ash Williams and Freddy Krueger are really great.
Who wins?
Definitely go ahead and pirate it. I did it.
All right. I guess we'll find out on our own. My favorite, I will say, my favorite line from the teens in that movie is after like they escape from the rave in the cornfield where Jason shows up and starts slashing them to death, and they're driving away in the van, and like the stoner guy with the really long hair says, "That goalie was pissed about something."
Yes.
That is amazing.
What's funny in that movie is every teen Jason kills, it's right after every guy, it's right after they're doing something shitty to one of the girls. Like the guy was really shitty to his girlfriend. Jason kills him and
he folds him up in the bed.
Sandwiches him. And then the raver guy is being bad. So he
So he's really
I
a
really
crusader,
appreciate
and he's just
Jason.
misunderstood.
He's a feminist icon.
Yeah. It's also cool to see somebody being terrorized in Freddy's nightmare, and when they're killed, they die and disappear, and he gets mad.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
And their fight, I mean, that's just like the raison d'etre for the film is let's watch these two immortal icons literally hack each other to pieces, and it's like the bloodiest. Like they have like 8 times the amount of blood in them that a normal human body does by the end of that movie. It's just insane. But I love it for going so over the top.
It's rewatchable too, and it's like fun and gory, and it's like it's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna watch that now.
Yeah,
I haven't seen either of these movies, but it's my understanding that The Ring versus the Grudge movie, the actual title of which I forget.
Sadako versus
Samira? Oh.
Right.
That's a thing?
Yes, it's recent too. It came out in the last like 10 years. Is not like that at all, and that there's actually is it that there's no final fight between the two of them, or just that it's like really short and underwhelming?
So I've seen it. It's fully Japanese. They there are two girls in the house that they're in, and the only audio is just the girls going, and then you just hear the and then from Sadako Samara. So it's they fight. Kayoko comes down the stairs doing her grudge thing, and Sadako breaks her back, but then she like grips her, takes her away. They do 1 2 1 2, and then they both get put into Sadako's well, and then they become one. They do fusion.
That's
There's
terrifying.
actually a proper fight in there.
Yeah, and it's big. It's interesting because Sadako is very like this and like that, and Kayoko crawls. So they
really
go
slow
back and
fight.
forth between those.
I feel like it would be a really slow fight with the two of them. But
Yeah,
it's
it's campy and it's fun. It's mostly just loud. It's very loud. I remember that. Yeah, Sadako versus Kayoko. Very good. Very fun.
I ask to obscure the fact that I actually haven't seen a lot of horror movies.
You're
I'm
in
not
a
really
safe
a horror
place.
movie person.
Well, I mean, with this month, it's great to always see new things. Are there any new discoveries that you guys have made this year that like could become new favorites? Clement, do you want to go first? Anything you might revisit?
I just watched Hellraiser last
nightly
night.
Thing? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a daily thing where it's half Italian slashers and half Japanese horror movies, and I'm terrified of having to force myself to watch The Ring and The Grudge. I just watched the original Ring a couple of nights ago, and it was terrifying. But yeah, so I'm randomly drawing a movie every day and just watching that. So I watched the other night, and I think it's going to become a seasonal watch, not just because of how good it is, but also because of like the factor of not being completely sure about what the movie's about or what happens in it, and just having to watch it multiple times just to take it in, because it is a thoroughly crazy movie that just operates on its own wavelength.
Super fun.
Right on.
It's a great movie.
Stephanie,
have you gotten to say yours?
Yeah. Oh well,
okay.
for new movies, we saw Gaslighting from the 1940s recently, which was really good. Like I knew the story, but I hadn't seen it. And then I think we're gonna tackle Rebecca tomorrow.
The Hitchcock one or the new one?
Hitchcock. I wanted to do a double feature, but I think we're just gonna stick with Hitchcock for now.
I still need to see that myself.
Oh yeah? Okay.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
I love the old Rebecca. It's one of my favorite Hitchcocks.
There you go.
Sold.
And yeah, Houseu is a crazy fun movie too. Clement, I'm happy you watched that because I think I think that's one you can enjoy on your own, or you can have a party with people over and then just especially it's one that's good like when movie theaters eventually come back, fingers crossed, that it's a great midnight movie. Like there's repertory theaters in LA run it like every month, so because they know it just brings in a lot of great crowds. But yeah, Houseu is a lot of fun.
There's a great TikTok like filter thing that freezes like your pose and it flies around, and it's just like how they do like the blue screen velvet screen in House. Very, very fun.
Nice. Kristy, were there any new discoveries you've made this year?
No. Not that I can think of right off the top of my head. But I'm going to be watching The Exorcist 3 soon for blind spots, so I haven't seen it. So
it's so good.
Yeah. I just rewatched it the other night because exclusive. We're doing it for blind spots as well. And it's excellent. I don't know if you knew that Brad Dourif is in the movie, Kristy, but
is it Dourif or Dorif?
I say I don't know. What did I say? Dourif?
I think it's
Dorif.
Cool, but I think it's Dorif.
I like to put a little extra kick on the last vowels since
it works.
I'm Tropila, not Tropila, but Brad Dourif.
Yes, I didn't know Brad Dourif was in it though.
Yeah, he's awesome in it. That's all I'll say. Yeah, Exorcist 3 is great, and Exorcist 2 I would recommend, is a lot of fun.
And of course the OG, you know,
Oh yeah.
Exorcist. I mean, that's like a yearly watch for me. Maybe this time a month, but I mean, actually, yeah, I probably will watch it, especially now. I was gonna do all three. I was gonna watch them all, but I don't know if I'll have time now before. But yeah, Exorcist.
Watching it with like really good like surround sound like gaming headphones, I found is the best way to watch it. Like, because you really hear all of the like sound mixing, and it makes it way scarier.
Which Exorcist is this?
The first one that I'm talking about, anyway.
Yeah. It'd probably be good if you like turned the air conditioning in your house down as low as it could get, so that you could see your breath like the characters do in the movie.
Or if you got possessed by a demon and then put it on, then it might work better.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what Demon Me would do.
Just put
Let's watch The Exorcist, cocksucker.
My dad says that that's still the scariest movie he's ever seen. Like, he saw it as a kid, and he was on like a dairy farm, and he had to put the cows out or bring the cows in from the field, and he got so scared that he left the gate completely open and ran back to the house, and the cows got out. And it's all because of The Exorcist.
Reagan screws everything up.
Oh, I wanted to say, because Jake's Pazuzu impression reminded me of Beetlejuice, which is, I didn't watch it for October. I watched it,
He was sitting right beside me. I thought
the Maitland.
I like to always have one.
I watched it in September because I haven't seen a lot of Tim Burton stuff. And it's just extremely charming. And I was like, man, this must be the only good thing produced in the 80s. So it's going to be, I think, a regular watch.
I love Beetlejuice.
That, and also Beetlejuice
is a yearly.
And then if somebody says it one more time, then he'll appear.
Did you guys watch the cartoon of it?
Yes.
I saw many episodes. I think I may have even seen it before I watched the movie proper. But
I remember loving it, but it's so weird rewatching it as the movie as an adult, because Beetlejuice and Lydia are like best friends in the cartoon, and it's like, that's not how it is in the movie. That's like the epitome of like kid whitewashing. Yeah.
I've also been just compulsively listening to the musical soundtrack from the Broadway musical, and just reading about the storyline of that and listening to the songs and how the interplay between the two works in the show is really interesting, because she's not like really the protagonist of Beetlejuice. It's more the Maitland's story. And in the show, it's switched, where she's the main character and the drive of the narrative happens through her. And so she and Beetlejuice have a more sort of like complete arc where they like come together and then they fall out in a way that the movie just doesn't even have. So it's really interesting to see that sort of stuff manifest in that show.
I've never seen the show, but the movie was like a huge part of my childhood. I'm actually wearing Beetlejuice bracelets too, because I love it. But if you haven't seen a lot of Tim Burton, there's definitely like plenty of good stuff. If you go back, go back.
I just watched
several movies.
Hello.
Yes, I was gonna say you should watch Sleepy Hollow. I think that's like, I don't know, I feel like it's underrated with some people, or like they forget about it. But
I love me some Christopher Walken. So
doesn't.
He's great in it, despite not having a head for most of it. I would say Sleepy Hollow for me might be the last good Tim Burton movie, with one exception for Sweeney Todd. I really like Sweeney Todd. But
Big Fish too.
Oh yeah, Big Fish. I'll give you that. Big Fish is good too. But
Frankenweenie was cute.
The original one, the animated one.
I've only seen the animated one.
I love the original.
I've not seen it.
Love the original too.
All right. We can all agree Tim Burton does have some exceptions.
You know, he's doing an Addams Family show. Did anyone read that?
I've not heard that.
Yeah, Tim Burton. Yeah, he's working show.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I did see that today. I'm actually kind of excited to see how that comes about.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that
Yeah.
goes. Because I wasn't crazy with Dark Shadows, so that obviously that was a movie.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, no.
It was bad. I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, it's. Yeah, it's. I mean, I haven't seen Alice in Wonderland, which is many say is his worst, but Dark Shadows is like the nadir of Tim Burton for me. It's
Shame.
got I know. So it just feels so misguided, and it's got like peak Johnny Depp annoying. Yeah.
Likes to tap into that, especially like the more like movies he does with him or something, he gets more annoying.
I know.
And I'm not, he's in plenty of them. Edward Scissorhands is like an amazing film.
Yeah,
Great in that.
that's for sure my favorite of all his movies.
Ed Wood, he's fantastic.
Ed Wood, yeah.
Yeah.
Ed Wood is.
There
And
you
as long
go.
as we're talking like Tim Burton stuff that's like very quintessentially like Halloween, he did a short called Vincent, which he wrote a poem for, and Vincent Price reads it out loud. And it's about this little boy who really, more than anything, wants to be just like Vincent Price. And it's like 8 minutes long, but it's one of the most like delightful things I've ever seen.
Aw.
And I'm probably gonna rewatch it every year from now on.
A really, really fun Tim Burton is Mars Attacks.
I
Yes,
love
I need to.
Right.
It's been years since I've seen it. I really need to rewatch it.
Ditto.
That was like,
Act.
Yeah. That's been on my radar to rewatch for a while. I can't believe how many people have just not seen it too.
so many times. That was a
Yeah.
frequent childhood watch. So
It's fun. It's Clement. You might have a good time. It's just it's a star-studded cast, and everybody's having a ball, and it's like just a throwback to schlocky 50s B movies, but with updated 90s CG. Yeah.
I remember it being like kind of like the first movie I watched where people die, but it's not really like something to be sad about because it's like funny. And it really kind of knocked down that like barrier of like, oh, you don't have to, when someone dies in a movie, you don't have to cry, like kind of thing. Because it it was always associated with people die, oh, it's sad. Not Mars Attacks.
Well, yeah, especially with that cast, because they have no qualms about killing everyone off. I'm not saying literally everyone dies, but it's
some get changed.
Don't get attached. But yeah, before we move into trivia, does anybody have any other titles or franchises they'd like to throw out?
I think a very, very, very rewatchable like October movie is the original Fright Night.
Ooh, yeah.
Like
Fun.
super, super fun like vampire movie, and it has like the horror TV host who becomes like kind of a hero. Yeah, it's a great movie. I have not seen the remake and I don't want to. So
I think we talked about that on one of these at some point or another, but I actually like the remake. I mean, I like the original better, but I do like the remake. I love David, and he's hilarious in it. And I think it's actually not that bad, especially in comparison to some remakes of horror movies. We won't go down that road, but yeah, that's a good one. Trying to think if there's any more. Were you going to say something, Stephanie? Have you seen Fright Night, or were you saying you hadn't seen it? Because
No, I haven't seen that one. I'm like getting a list this year of things I need to start watching like for next year. Like I need more John Carpenter in my life and more Alfred Hitchcock. And I really want to start watching the Universal creature features.
Oh yeah, I watched for the first time this year. I watched Creature of the Black Lagoon. It's great.
Okay.
yeah, it's so good. The only bad part is the music. The music's so annoying.
I don't remember the music that much, but there's this like great shot of the girl like swimming on the surface of the water, and the creature is below her, like pedaling or underneath her.
Gorgeous.
Didn't Guillermo say that was like that shot was like the reason he made I can't think of the name of the movie.
Shape of
Water. I'm pretty sure he said like that image.
That sounds like why. But
I I think it was like that made him feel like it was a love story, and it made him sad that like they didn't fall in love, and that like inspired it. I should rewatch Shape of Water. I love that movie.
All right.
Also, American Werewolf in London is another good one that I.
Oh yes, that is
That's
killer.
gonna be what I watch on Halloween, along with Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, Clement.
Getting all the werewolf in.
Alrighty.
Speaking of werewolves, Bailey Joe and I watched the original Universal Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. a couple of days ago. So slowly filling out my Universal Monsters watch series.
We watched that back to back with Werewolf of London, which is like the OG like werewolf movie that's not like a lost film. It does not hold up.
They both play like fast and loose with the werewolf lore, because apparently there is no werewolf lore. The movies just made it up because there's no like foundational story. So they just kind of make stuff up every time.
We talked about this. The Twilight movies are more true to like actual werewolf lore. But and then there's a huge difference between Werewolf of London and The Wolfman. But
despite
it's
them
clear
coming
like
out
why
like
the
7 years
Wolfman
apart.
stuff. Yeah.
And being the most prominent werewolf movies of their time. Yeah, it's weird.
Werewolf of London is not worth watching.
Unless you really like moonflowers that turn people into werewolves.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole plot.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah.
Right on. All right. Well, I think we're ready for some trivia. What do you guys say?
Trivia, yes.
Jake Trovia's Trove of Trivia. All right. Well, we have some returning champions here, but for the benefit of Stephanie and our new audience members out there, I'll read the rules. The trivia is I will be asking 10 film and TV related questions to the group. We are on theme here, so keep that in mind. The first person to say the correct answer will earn a point. The player with the most points at the end of the game wins. Some questions will be worth more than 1 point. And in the event that there is a tiebreaker will become available. Do we have any questions? All right. Stephanie, you ready to compete? All these people have won at least one in the past. So no pressure. It's all fun. All right. Now, these are varying degrees of difficulty, but I figured I'd start with an easy one. What does Jack Torrance write in his typewriter?
All work and no play makes
Jack a dull boy. Bailey's got that
Bailey
one.
Joe got it by 1 second. But yes, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All right. Question number 2. Here's where they get hard. Halloween takes place in Haddonfield, Illinois. Where was most of the film actually shot?
Los Angeles.
California.
Just California. Clement says Los Angeles. You guys want to be a little more specific?
Ohio.
Burbank?
Not Burbank. This is tricky.
Sacramento.
No. Any guesses, Kristy?
No.
Huh. Well, okay, so the answer is Pasadena, California.
Oh.
Who do I give this to? I might... What?
I said California.
You said the California answer.
He said Los Angeles, and Pasadena is a part of LA County.
Oh,
So
is it?
Yes, it is.
Jake would know. He's the LA man.
I am
How
here.
about like split?
Okay.
I'll take halvesies.
We'll do. All right. We'll do. So Bailey has 1.5 points. Clement has half a point. It's still anybody's game. All right. Don't worry. I'm sure there's some listeners out there going mad who needs them. All right.
Keeping track of the scores at home.
Okay. Question number 2. This question is worth 2 points. There are 2 answers. The Nightmare on Elm Street franchise was later adapted into a TV show. What was it called? And how many seasons did it run?
3 more years. 1 season. I don't know.
Anybody know the name? Did anybody know this was a thing?
No.
Robert Englund was in it. He's in every episode. He hosts like a nightmare related story.
Yeah, it's like I actually just is it just Freddy's Nightmare? Freddy's.
Yes,
Ah,
you got it. Freddy's Nightmares. Do you know how many seasons it ran?
No.
Wait, Stephanie, did you just hold up fingers?
Yeah, 2.
2? That is correct. I'm going to split the
Oh.
points between both of you.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
Freddy's Nightmares ran for 2 seasons from 1989 to 1990. Now you know. All right.
Wow.
Question number 4. This one is also has a bonus point. What is the nickname given to the maniac in the attic in Black Christmas?
Billy.
Correct.
oh, nice.
All right. And for the second point, what is the name of his sister?
Gladys.
Not Gladys.
Grace. No.
Agatha.
Yes. No. Agnes.
No. Agnes is correct.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We'll get there eventually. We'll just throw
Yeah.
out names and
Billy. Yeah, some old lady's name.
It's
Billy
so
and-
hard to hear him in that movie.
Yeah. Because he's mostly just on the phone, and yeah, it's crazy nonsense, but it's great. All right, here we go. Question number 5. This might be my favorite question. Including the one due out next year, how many Children of the Corn movies have there been?
7.
4.
6.
No.
5.
No.
8.
No.
2.
12.
9.
No.
10.
No.
4.
No.
13.
No.
Too many is the answer.
Yes, but
Yes.
no.
15.
10.
Not 10.
9.
11.
13.
Correct. It is 11.
Oh.
I
Can you believe they made it? Can you believe they made 11 of those goddamn movies? I haven't seen a
That's-
single one.
You haven't seen the first one?
I haven't seen any of them. No.
There was a
First
nice
one's
Twitter
fairly
thread going around about that earlier.
Is it a Stephen King novel?
Mm-hmm. It's a
Okay.
short story, I think, that he wrote.
I think Linda Hamilton's in it. The first one.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is. It's actually not a bad movie. I mean, the kids are creepy.
Do the
Hanging out in the
children?
corn.
These are a little
It's
creepy.
a great creepy kid movie.
Interesting. All right. Well, maybe one day I'll watch all 11 of them. But yes.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, thank you for talking me down from this ledge. I will not do
It
that.
didn't take a lot of convincing.
Yeah, but there is one that is coming out. One came out in 2018, and there's one coming out next year. So this franchise is insane.
Who's watching
Let him
these?
die.
I don't know.
Are you?
These
viewers?
goddamn children they don't grow up. They're still children. All right, here we go. Question number 6. Yes. British officer Elliot Spencer is better known as what horror movie character? And let me clarify, Elliot Spencer is the character's real name when he was human.
The Headless Horseman.
No. I don't think he has a name. I think he's just the Hessian horseman.
Oh, he's just a Hessian dude. Got it.
So who is
Wolfman.
Elliot Spencer's alter ego, who he is more famously known as?
Give us another hint.
Yeah.
His pillowcase bill could choke a chicken.
Oh. One more.
One more hint.
Yeah.
God.
Grade.
All right, I'm going to say a quote from this character. All right, I'll do it in his voice. The box, you opened it.
Pinhead?
We came. Yes, that is correct. Pinhead was once a man named Elliot Spencer who opened the
Oh.
box,
Oh.
and he had
I didn't remember that name though.
100
Yeah.
nails.
Mhm.
I think it's in the second one. It's revealed, second or third. But yeah, he opened the box and bad things happened to him, and now he
Huh.
is angels to some, demons to others. All right. Question number 7. What was the original budget for the Blair Witch Project?
$1 million.
$60,000.
Wow, right on the money.
Oh.
Bailey got it. Well, here's the follow-up question for a bonus point. How much money did it make worldwide?
106 million.
A lot.
500,000.
It made million. I know it made a million.
Did it?
All right, we're gonna do this. We've done this before. I'm gonna take 4 answers from one from each of you. Whoever's the closest without going over will get the point. So Bailey Joe, you got the first part right. What is your guess?
I guess 110 million.
It is 110 million. Okay. Kristy,
I don't know. 9 million.
9 million. All right. Stephanie,
120 million.
120 million.
I originally started off with 500,000, so we're doing great.
Yeah, I'm
That
just,
is wow.
I'm
that's,
just here.
That is a pretty high margin of 119.5 million, but it's all good. And Clement, what's your guess?
200 million.
Well, the winner is Clement because that
Oh.
film grossed $248 million worldwide
Oh.
on a
Wow.
budget of $60,000. It's one of the most profitable movies ever. Yeah, great job. All right.
Lightning
How
in a
much
bottle.
did Children of the Corn 12 make?
I don't know. I doubt Children of the Corn has made that much money. All right. Question number 8, and this one's morbid. I apologize. How many people related to the production of The Exorcist died while the movie was being made?
4.
3.
5.
No and no, and I'm clarifying. Nobody died on set. They just happened to be
Right.
related, and they died.
2.
10.
It's not 3. It's not 5. It's not 10. It's not 2.
Hope it's not more than all that. Oh my gosh.
8?
Wait, what did you say, Bailey Joe?
I haven't said anything. I
you
said
said-
3.
Somebody said 8.
I said
9.
9.
8 is
Seven.
incorrect. 9 is correct. Kristy got it.
Funny how many of these are number ones, and we're just like,
Well, yes, I
There's
Yeah.
something against the wall.
yeah, you're right. There are a lot of numbers. Luckily, there's no more numbers. So, all right, here we go.
what's the scoring? Do you,
So, all right, yeah, score break. So, Kristy has 5 points. Stephanie has 1 point. Bailey Joe has 3.5 points, and Clement has 1.5 points. Still a couple questions left. Could still be anybody's game. Yeah. Question number 9. Who is the voice of Ghostface in all the Scream movies?
Oh my god, I should know this.
Like the
I
the
do not.
actor.
Yes.
Don't know his name.
Not who is the killer, but who's the voice.
Yeah. There's 2
Don't know.
different people.
It's not Wes Craven doing it, is it?
It is not
No.
Wes Craven.
It's
that
not.
would have been awesome.
I think he's done it for like all of them.
It's like a
I'm pretty
nothing
sure
name.
he's-
It's not a memorable name.
It is
Like
a
a
very
nothing name.
It is
Jim
very
Roth.
plain white name, and I believe he is coming back for the new one they're making next year.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
He's gonna be
so
pissed when
down.
he watches this video and sees what that you said that, Bailey Joe.
Longtime film inquiry reader. Whoever this guy
Put
is.
his name right here, because I
Surprise. Any guesses?
No.
Anyone?
Does-
No?
Know this.
All right. His name
George
is
Glass.
no. His name is all right. No points are awarded. His name is
it's Robert Paulson. Oh,
his
sorry.
His name is Roger L. Jackson is the
Oh.
actor's name. So
Yeah.
he does Ghostface's voice.
Sorry, Roger.
All right, here we go. Question number 10. What was the original name for the Blob?
The
The
ooze.
ooze.
Not the ooze.
The thing.
Not the thing.
The jelly. I don't know.
Ew, what is that?
Slime.
Not
Oh,
the
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 jelly.
slime would have been a better title,
Not
actually.
booger.
Schmooze.
The creeping dread something.
They had to change the name of it. It was originally titled this, but there was another movie called this. It's the something, and they had to change it because there's already a movie that existed. So you probably would not be aware that this is a movie now that I look at the title.
The Crawler?
Not the Crawler.
The Creeper.
Any other guesses? Not the Creeper.
It's a Scooby-Doo villain.
It is one syllable. I'll give one more hint. It's one syllable.
The Snot?
Yes,
No.
yes, it was the Snot.
I'm kind of close. Want to award that one. So the correct answer is the Glob. Was the original title for the Blob. Yeah.
I'm glad it was changed to the Blob. Glob is gross.
That must
Yeah.
have been a quick meeting, though, to decide on the new name.
Yeah.
We go
Well,
with the GP.
Oh. Well, that was question number 10. I mean, do you guys want to do
You have a tiebreaker?
We do have a tiebreaker, and I think
Do
it's a fun one, I think.
Well, what
Uh,
is it, Jay?
Tiebreaker?
Yeah, well, I do have a tiebreaker. Kristy earned the most points, but I think we want to play the tiebreaker, right? We always do.
Yes.
Are you guys ready? All right, so the tiebreaker is, and I'm going to be a stickler about full titles. Name as many of the Friday the 13th sequel subtitles as you can. Go.
Friday the 13th Part 2, Friday the 13th 3D, Friday the 13th The Next Chapter, Friday the 13th New Part 7 New Blood, Friday the 13th Part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason X, Friday the 13th Jason Goes to Hell, Friday the 13th 5 The New Beginning.
Wow.
Is
yeah.
that all of them?
You missed Jason Lives and Freddy versus Jason, but yeah, she got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well,
5, 6, 7.
Jason
What?
Lives ain't worth it's not worth talking about. And
What?
yeah,
That's one of the
Freddy
good
versus
ones.
Jason.
It's a shame that 10 isn't subtitled Jason's in Space now.
Jason X, he's in space now.
Yeah.
I heard it was considered, but they thought it was too good, so they pulled it out.
Jason X, remember space?
Yeah.
It's here.
But yeah, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna sharing spirit. I'm gonna say that Kristy and Bailey Joe tied because you guys all brought your horror game. This was a lot of fun. But congratulations, everyone. You're all
Yay.
champions in my book. Yeah. Congratulations and thank you very much, Stephanie, for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and then
Yes, Stephanie.
Kristy, I'll throw it back over to you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And that was fun. Jake said he was going to have some tough ones for us. And
Those were tough.
Boy, did I ever. Yeah.
Numbers are hard.
Yeah, numbers are hard. So
we like
The letters
words.
of math.
that's true.
Here
But-
at Film Inquiry, we're more of word people than numbers.
I have to spread the word that these children of the corn need to be stopped. 11 movies is too much.
I wonder what the death count is throughout all of the movies.
Ooh, wow. That sounds like a YouTube video waiting to happen.
It's hard to judge because of all the cornstarch the children eat.
Ah.
Corn syrup, I mean. And they all got diabetes.
The real villain is Big Corn.
Children of the corn syrup.
All right. Well, this was fun, guys. Thanks for the awesome trivia, and thanks for all the movie talk. As always, it's always fun. And thank you, Stephanie, for joining us. I hope you'll come back another time.
Oh, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah.
And hopefully everybody has awesome rest of their October. Plenty of time to still get in some of these watches, and hopefully we gave some good recs. And feel free to drop them in the comments on our YouTube video if there's anything that viewers that you watch that you want to share. And also have a good Halloween. And as always, thank you for joining us and watching, and hope everyone is healthy and happy and doing awesome.
Bye, everyone. Happy Halloween.
Bye. Happy Halloween.
Bad dreams.
I hope you have a horrifying Halloween.